When we see habitats, especially we call them habitats of this wildlife, the forests, your land where you cultivate is all habitats. Because we sit here, Honorable Flavia will tell you as a lawyer, we make policies, we make laws, but we don't invite these animals when we are making these things. We don't tell them, stop here, this is for you, don't go beyond this. We don't make all that. We exclude them. We make agreements, we make, strong rules, but we don't involve the wildlife itself. So it will cross, and it will find itself in your garden, and eventually it will have a clash with you. So I was looking at, just like somebody mentioned, as you go beyond the road and you see how encroached Mabera is. It used to be over, I think, over 300 square kilometers. But today we have so little. Location is close to the city. I mean, you have gold here, but so encroached. Every day it is losing an acre, I think. It is getting to the waste. Recently we were trying to upgrade some reserves from wildlife status to national park. And we were like, we need to have Mabera to be upgraded to national park level. Because we believe if we get hold of Mabera forest, it would enjoy the best status. But when we came for an assessment, oh my God, the encroachment level is very high. And that would mean waiting for, the processes of evicting people, compensation, and all stuff like that. We knew we shall not go far.
Bringing the law together. Out of that 7 countries where we had elephants in 1979, 10 countries have lost their elephants. The 29 countries that have come together have formed African Elephant Coalition. And Uganda is a member, DR Congo is a member, Rwanda is a member, among all those 29 countries that have come together. There is also something called Lusaka Agreement. Kenya is now enjoying the chairperson for Lusaka Agreement. This is to say, we're trying to harmonize, and I'm happy that this time I've worked so hard with the ED, the executive director of UA, the current one, and even the previous one. And through the elephant team, we have ensured that we've passed the law that are more or less the same. In Kenya, if you are arrested with ivory or anything from the animal that are either critically endangered or red listed by IUCN, it is now life imprisonment. And here, this is what is happening. There before, we used to have people in Nairobi who would be arrested from Nigeria. But the law says you have to take him back. But now the African countries that we have elephants have agreed the law of the land will take place. And this is why I am now coming to emphasize and give heart to the institutions that are doing wildlife conservation. In 1979 in Africa, we had 1.8 million elephants in those 37 countries. Today, Africa hosts 350,000 elephants. This country here, we had almost 40,000 elephants. Today, we are nearing 5,000 elephants. Some areas we used to have elephants, we don't have them. Elephants go to toilet 17 times per day. And every time they defecate, they drop 13 bollies. 16% of elephant dung is undigested. That means elephant drop seedlings that becomes trees. But this man come and cut trees. Many people maybe they are cursed by these animals, and you never know. So we need to go back. As the book of Isaiah says, let's go back. Let's come together and reason.
I can say safely that this is the king of the Nile. Elevated at over 1,270 meters above sea level, you'll probably not find any other kingdom overlooking the Nile and Lake Victoria. It's at this point where the Nile meets Lake Victoria. Fantastic scenery. What's the downside? Mabera forest is probably 89-90% degraded. The Mabera forest were not only the lungs of Kampala and Jinja, but are also the founding ecosystems for Lake Victoria and River Nile. It's not by surprise that we have huge pollution on these two fantastic water bodies. These water bodies for a long time were protected by our great-grandparents, the forefathers, the grandparents to His Majesty Kabila IV. And it's for this reason that we're here in a special way to join efforts as we prepare for the restoration, as we prepare for his coronation happening next week. We're here to join efforts and say, we are with you. Your theme speaks to the environment. We're here to demonstrate that. We're here to partner with you so that we can promote non-consumptive utilization of our natural resources.
Area where we are is the area which is so much attached to Mabira Forest. So we are having our friends from Uganda Wildlife Authority, NEMA, and several other organizations. The intention is to plant trees again in Mabira. As we used to know our Mabira, it's no longer the Mabira used to know. You can see it on the roadside when you are moving, but inside there people have cleared acres and acres of land. And especially even big people that even the community fears. So it's very unfortunate that when someone comes from Kampala and clears, for example, an acre or two or three, then what about the average person who is in Chinoni, who is in Chizigo, who is elsewhere? So it's very important that we engage them, especially the community, to love the forest. So we are going to plant 20 million trees in Mabira and around the places like the schools, 20 million trees. The intention is to have that green again. So as a member of parliament, I've also tasked them that they want to meet the environment committee in the parliament because they have to make some amendments. For example, tourism, some amendments in the laws that are governing the forests. So I've promised them that one I'll do. Even the speaker, I'll engage the speaker because I believe each and every person in parliament will also be excited to know the arrangement. We are going to plant trees again, so that we have that green again. We know very well what has happened to countries that maybe cut the trees, or countries that, for example, where there are deserts.
In 2021, the data says that we now have 29 countries left with the elephants that are hosting now 350,000 elephants. In Uganda, where we are, this country hosted 40,000 elephants. The population currently is 4,700. In my country, we had 200,000 elephants. We now host only 35,000 elephants. A country like Rwanda, where I'm headed, they have less than 100 individual elephants. DR Congo, which hosted 3,000 elephants, they used to host what we have now in Africa. They only have 11,000 elephants. The losing elephants, again, look at the cost and the drivers. What is driving this is because of decentralizing the conservation. We have institutions like Kenya Wildlife Service, Uganda Wildlife Authority, that have not been funded properly because of either leadership or either the ignorance, and have found out that many people, not only in Kenya, I did a walk from Nairobi to South Africa, and I realized the ignorance that is in our leadership, that is in our people, and that's why we feel that there is no need for conserving wildlife. Losing elephant, losing habitats that we depend on. There are many rivers that start from the conservation areas. Like in Mount Elgon, Kenya, we have forest, we have elephants, but in the Uganda side, they've disappeared because elephants are highly adaptable species.